evening, and it's a very special night for the Milton Public Library. Everything has come together to bring such a great crowd, and I know everyone is so thankful for your support. It is a fantastic library, and we're very, very fortunate. Great things begin at the library. Some 40 years ago, my wife Nancy, who's over here, and I took a budding crush and a somewhat half-assed student and turned me into a real student, because there was nothing better than showing up to see Nancy at night at the library at the University of Maine, where we both went to school. And we have been residents, that was 40 years ago, as much as I hate to admit that, but we have been residents of Milton for the last 20 years. Raised 4 children here. Everybody feels this is our home. And I'm sure you all agree that it is such a special place. Great people, great schools, a world-class library. And, you know, at this time, with that Monday Night Football jingle, another thing we take great pride in around here is our sports and our sports fandom. And it's football season, so we're all about football here tonight. But we also have the option of basketball, hockey, and a little bit of baseball being played right now. So thanks for taking the time out to be here. But it really is a night to celebrate the library, and we have a little bit of a football twist to it. Having spent 7 years myself in the National Football League, I was fortunate enough to play for the Buffalo Bills and Washington Redskins. I have a real connection to the program and to our speaker, Upton Bell. As a local boy, I grew up in Cohasset, went to Archbishop Williams High School. I remember Upton Bell as the Patriots general manager. I remember the excitement of the Patriots drafting a guy named Jim Plunkett to play quarterback, who was maybe going to turn this franchise in a real positive direction. And I know that Upton had a little hand in that. Whether he wants to comment on that this evening or not, I'll leave to him. But little did I know that that same Jim Plunkett, who I looked at as maybe being the savior of the team, a couple of years later I'd be on the same field with him and many people that Upton drafted. So in a few minutes, we'll hear first-hand insights from Upton about his book, Present at the Creation, My Life in the NFL and the Rise of America's Game. It's all sitting right there before you, signed. He was gracious enough to sign a book for everyone. And I want to thank him for that. I'll take a moment to get my copy. But along with Upton being a great speaker, I know this because I talked to him for an hour on the phone yesterday, an unplanned hour on the phone, and it was gone in a minute. I have to say, this book must have been very hard for him to write, because I really do think we could have gone on for hours and hours and only scratched the surface. Little did I know when I made it, and I had that dream, and I made it to the NFL, that beyond playing against Jim Plunkett and those guys, that I'd one day become vested in the Burt Bell retirement plan, which is the retirement plan for the National Football League. And Burt Bell was Upton's father. I'm sure he's going to talk a little bit about his dad tonight, but what a history he had, and he was once upon a time a commissioner of the National Football League. So we have plenty of football with you, but really, again, beyond the great dinner, the great company, this is all about supporting the Milton Public Library, where each year over 234,000 people pass through the doors into a special place that circulates some 290,000 books. They attend 650 programs, and people download over 19,000 ebooks. Wow, that's a lot of reading. That's a lot of people. And we have really the support that's been shown here tonight, and for many years before, to have this wonderful library. And at this point, it's time to talk a little more about the program this evening. And it's my pleasure to introduce the president of the Milton Library Foundation, Mike Zulis. Thank you very much.
So, Nancy Street told me what a handsome man Chris Keating was. But I didn't really realize it until just now. That is the filet mignon right there. Which of course means that you now have the chopped liver.